What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I'm going to explain Everbloom in 5 minutes. The first boss here is Witherbar. Where my mouse is right now is where you should be tanking him, and you should also be facing him away from the raid, so he doesn't hit everybody else with Parched Grasp, which is a cone AoE ability. He also casts Unchecked Growth, which is kind of like a little, like a root thing that chases people around, and if it hits you, it turns into like basically a void zone that you don't stand in. Later on in the fight, that'll become more important. Once his energy bar reaches 0, he's going to go into his Brittle Bark phase, where he takes double damage and a bunch of aqueous globules come, and if 4 aqueous globules come and touch him, he gains 25 energy for each one, and whenever 4 touch him, he goes back into phase 1 and repeats. If an aqueous globule hits one of the unchecked growths, it actually turns it into like another ad that your tank has to tank, and it becomes a big deal. It's better to just kill the aqueous globules and kill those as much as you can. Whenever they die, they explode, the globs do, and so you kind of have to deal with that. They can also be slowed and death gripped back away. You want to do as much damage to Witherbark as you can in this phase. That's why you want to have them as far away from the water as possible. Other than that, as soon as you go ahead and go into the first phase again, it's just rinse and repeat. And so this boss is pretty easy to deal with. Just make sure you save all your cooldowns to burn him down as much as possible during his Brittle Bark phase. The next boss we're looking at here is actually a council fight. It's the Ancient Protectors. There's basically a Balanced Druid, a Resto Shaman, and like an Arms Warrior, or I guess like a Death Knight or something like that. The melee ad casts like an ability, and it basically is an explosion, and it knocks everybody back and does damage to them. The same as the trash mobs. Lifebinder Gola, he's like the one that you really need to interrupt. And if you interrupt one of them, they become immune to interrupts and crowd control effects for the next 8 seconds. And so it's very important to choose what you interrupt. And they can cast 2 buffs on themselves. One is Briar Skin, and that's casted by the ranged DPS. And basically that's whenever you hit that thing, the guy that he casts it on, you just take damage. They also cast Briar Patch, which is pretty much just another void zone that you don't stand in. There's Noxious Explosion again. You want to move out of that, make sure you don't get hit by it. Other than that, like, this fight's pretty simple. Just make sure you also interrupt, what's it called? Revitalizing Waters, and that's Gola's heal, and he can heal the other group. And as soon as Gola dies, it becomes a lot easier. You should always kill the healer first, and then after that, it's much simpler because you only have to fight 2 of them. Also, if the big guy death grips you, you need to also not stand in front of him because it'll hit you pretty hard. The next boss looking at here is Mage Soul. What she's going to do is she has 3 different phases, and you phase her into the different phases by interrupting parasitic growth. The first thing that she'll cast while she's in her fire phase is she'll cast, this is parasitic growth right there. Don't interrupt the first one. And every single time that she casts it, she does more damage and she casts faster. And so you want to interrupt one of them and then let her cast the second one and then go into her next phase. It always goes fire, frost, arcane. Whenever she goes into another channel or another type of magic, she'll summon a Spore Image, same as the Trash did, and what you have to do is just tank that for the rest of the fight. For a while, you're not going to be able to interrupt her cast, and so that makes it a little bit more difficult. And also, there's going to be these little fire rings that spawn. Just jump up and down. Also, the green swirls that spawn on the ground, don't stand on those. Like, basically, as a general rule, guys, for this fight, if there's a thing, you're not supposed to be standing in any things. She also does more damage every single time you interrupt her, but that's not really as much as important. Every single time she switches spell schools, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just kind of going to happen anyway. So again, probably we want to let the first parasitic growth go off. And if you actually get to arcane phase, she just channels an arcane thing that hits everybody. It's not really that big of a deal. Yaonu is the last boss, and he casts Colossal Blow. It's really simple. It's a cone ability. You just don't stand in it. Even if you don't stand in it, you still take damage, though. You take a lot less. Whenever he casts Genesis, he's going to spawn like all these little flowers. You literally have to run over these flowers. Like, you stomp those motherfuckers back into the ground. You say, no, you're not going to turn and, like, cause me kinds of problems. All of the ones that you don't stomp on, you pretty much, they're going to, like, resurrect and, like, turn into like little ads that you have to tank. He also casts Entanglement. He can cast that on a player, and he can also cast it on the mages. Your tank wants to be tanking all of these different ads on top of the different like flame strikes, and like the mages are going to do different things. And the main thing that you really have to know here is that if the mages cast like a flame strike on the ground, there's an arcane orb going across. If you can pull the ads into that, they're going to take a whole lot of damage. Also, the Lumbering Ancient or Gnarled Ancients, they're going to do like kind of a frontal cone ability. So again, as a tank, you want to make sure that you have all of the ads picked up and faced away from your group, because if you don't, your group's going to be taking a whole lot of damage. Other than that, this fight is pretty easy to do. It's just mostly ad control, and the mages will kill Yaonu over time anyway. And so you don't really need to worry about boss damage. You just need to make sure that you have the ads controlled to where they don't overwhelm you. And again, make sure that you keep them all the time in like different flame strikes and different things that the mages put down. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all it takes to clear the Everbloom. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.